I think enough has changed lately in the past week or so. It's time to do another state of the franchise here assessment. We have ostensibly something going on with Season 3 of Discovery. Apparently, there's still no funding for it. I think they're using vacation time to just do some location stuff. We got a whole bunch of short treks coming up, which is pretty much what was predicted. So, stick that on your we're making shit up thing. You gotta go right up. And Picard is looking a little better than expected. And indications are, yes, Kurtzman is still very much out over there. In fact, I mean, he's been barred from the lot. They pretty much had to frog march him off the lot. So, what we are seeing, I mean, I think also, apparently, they have given Shaban the things like, use whatever you want from the existing franchise. When there's no merchandising anyway. So, I mean, the whole purpose of the 25% difference up is so they can merchandise it for themselves. That's, I think, is part that's kind of wildly misunderstood on a lot of fronts, is that why the 25% difference? And sorry, Kowalski, there is no myth. It is not a myth. It has been confirmed and documented. You know, it's like that note from Johnny's at least talking about being 25 mandated 25% different. He was told make it at least 25% different. It has been confirmed. So knock it off with the thing. It's really a myth. No, it's been confirmed. And it's also been, just kind of wrap it up, what has been reported over, in minutes as another. The reason why is not because of any kind of legal thing because what CBS said in damage control, we're free to lose whatever we want. And they are. They own the whole thing. They can do what they want. But in order for Secret Hideout to get any merchandising revenue out of it, it has to be significantly different and unique to the Secret Hideout thing. That's why you couldn't have the original Enterprise show up, because they couldn't merchandise it but CBS would get all the money from that. If they had Pike show up in the original series uniform and the pilot uniform, any merchandising would go straight to CBS, and Secret Hideout wouldn't get a piece of it. But you make these special little band uniforms that are unique only to Discovery, and Secret Hideout would get a piece of it. And here's where we get about the whole thing of being a plant of Bad Robot. Again, I'm leaning towards the thing. It's not. And again, Kowalski, give him credit for that. He showed the paperwork. No, it's not a part of. At least not officially part of Bad Robot, but it is a product of Bad Robot in that Alex Kurtzman comes from Bad Robot. He has learned well at the feet of JJ, okay, how to go about doing this thing. Changing things around a bit, making it your own so you can get a piece of the action. And no, that was not a pun for this. It's what it boils down to. They're getting a piece of this whole thing. Because it's like, 3PO with the red arm. That is unique to JJ's version of Star Wars. Guess what? JJ gets a piece of that. Millennium Falcon with rectangular dish. JJ gets a piece of that. BB-8, And a lot of times, what they did for Star Wars is they did a lot of rejected designs and call it their own. The X-Wing, that was with the split engine. That was anyone knows the art of Star Wars, all those sketchbooks. That was McQuarrie's original idea. The engine that splits in half, and they changed it later for the full round engine. Which kind of shows a laziness on JJ's part. They're just taking old designs. Now the technology's there to do it right. They're just putting them on there, and then they get a piece of it. But that is how they're doing it. And that is why you got all the changes on Discovery. It's legally mandated in the sense of it has to be at least 25% different in their eyes in order to claim merchandising rights on it and have it as a unique design to themselves. Less than that, and no, CBS, it's not different enough, and CBS gets all the money. But basically, there's no merchandising to speak of anyway with Picard. So they're not gaining anything by making anything different. They're pissing off all the old fans by making it different. So CBS is finally seeing a little bit of the light and saying, okay, that's it. do what you want, bring in everything you want, and that's why, because apparently originally as this thing was screened and bombed terribly, there was no data, there was no 709. That comm badge probably looked totally different, and I wonder if even the Borg were involved. It's like, and basically what we got going on, at least as far as Picard goes, is apparently a de-Kurtzmanization of the show. They're scrambling to get this thing back into canon compliance, at least in the eyes of the audience, as much as they can. I would not be surprised if that little Starfleet insignia that's been out, I mean, it's already out. Like I think Kika saw it on a doormat with the, implying the split thing. I would not be surprised if that's completely gone by the time the show actually premieres, and they're back to a standard Starfleet thing. And depending on how involved Kurtzman is creatively with the animated thing, I also would not be surprised if the uniforms take a change for those characters. And then, because the uniforms they're wearing in the animated thing, that Lower Decks, they're a little more reminiscent of that Countdown comic he and Orsi did. And the thing is, the time period is like not long after Nemesis, so by all rights, they should still be in those Nemesis-style uniforms. That the Insurrection Nemesis, First Contact uniforms with the gray shoulders and so. And animation, it's easy to change. They just draw it different. So don't be surprised if that changes too. That's an easy fix. As far as Discovery goes, I think that's a lost cause. And the people that put in charge after Kurtzman doesn't seem to be much of an improvement. Paradise wrote the last couple episodes of Discovery, and if that's a sample of what we got in mind, what we got to look forward to in Discovery Season 3, this show is doomed, okay? I'm sorry, that is some of the stupidest stuff ever put on camera with the Star Trek name on it, and that's some pretty stiff competition considering some of the doozies that they put out over the years. I mean, we're talking, it beats out Spock's Brain and Threshold and the Children's Show, but no, those look like Hugo Award winners compared to what was transpired in the last 2 episodes of Discovery. All matched by a lot of pretty special effects, but it's like, what? There's a large part of like, what the hell am I watching here? So yeah, and again, just because they're shooting stuff, there have been entire movies that have been shot, filmed, edited, and then never released. For far better reasons, far weaker reasons, frankly, than we're looking at with Discovery here. They got every reason in the world to say, nope, that's it. We're pulling the plug. Gone far enough. We're not going to bank up the entire network just because of you. And I think if Picard is enough of a hit, that may get them covered to go ahead and pull the plug on Discovery because they won't need it. Yeah, I think we are seeing a process of pulling back from the ledge and isolating Kurtzman enough. Yeah, they'll still trot him out for conventions and announcement stuff, but actual control of anything, no. He is not in control of anything right now except his office supplies. And it's pretty much, I think it's more and more sure that the only reason that the global franchise group is operating out of the secret hideout offices is to keep an eye on Kurtzman. Make sure it doesn't pull anything. And apparently he's been shooting his mouth off a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he's, kind of disinvited from the big Vegas con. I mean, they got got the Voyager cast going up there, but it's like, no Kurtzman. No, sorry. Well, he may be on the list, but I think it may very well be. It's like, no, sorry. You were a bad boy in San Diego. No, sorry. In fact, that's another thing. It's like, all these people are paying big bucks to go to the Vegas con. Let me straighten this up here. Only to have all the thunder stolen by San Diego. It's like they made all the big announcements there. It's like, hey, you forgotten you had us over here waiting for you? Twerps. Okay. So we shall see. State of the franchise. Still pretty battered up, but there are signs of hope. Doomcock gives Picard about a 3% chance it might actually work out okay. I'm getting a little better than 3%. I'm seeing some signs of actually trying to pull this up back. I think a big sign was point out that, an actual comm badge from the movie era, And again, if Rob Burnett is right, and they have pretty much ripped off this thing wholesale from Brian Fuller's pitch, he had a different kind of threat for Romulus. The Romulans are still under threat of thing going boom, of Star going boom, but it wasn't this whatever the hell that was in Nemesis. It was just a homegrown. It was the Romulan Star itself, and there's science is advanced enough they can tell it was about to go to evacuation and all that stuff. And there are problems with the pitch, but the problems I think are fixable for the most part, and really doesn't rely upon Kurtzman at all, and the JJ stuff, because they have to talk about Spock just breaking out of the vortex. They don't have to mention Spock, okay? They can just need to say Spock has died, okay? Because being half human, the lifespan's not quite the same as a full Vulcan. Vulcans can live over, about 230 some years, so I made it about 200, okay? The damn Vulcan blood kind of weighed him down, and didn't quite make it. So that's all you gotta do with that. Just he's dead. He died. A lot of stuff, there's problems, but most of the problems will be solved with a pencil slash. And also expect the next, hopefully sometime soon, when they announce any producer credits, that Brian Fuller's name will be added to the created by. Because there's enough there. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Okay, so things are looking up. Looking up. We got hope. We got some reason to hope here, but again, stay vigilant. Keep these guys here, feet to the fire, because we cannot let up. That's a big thing. We can't let up. Okay, now we're happy. No, we are not going to be happy until this thing is really straightened up. Just a few tidbits here, Mary. Sorry, seeing 7 of 9 is not enough to keep us happy at this point. Okay. I got no problem with the fact that she's looking, she's acting just perfectly. No, what the hell are you doing? It's been, 20 years since Voyager came back. She's probably, learned to act human again, okay? I'll be surprised if she's even calling herself 7 of 9 anymore. She's probably back to Annika Hansen. She was starting to do that at the end of Voyager, when she was rebelling against the Borg. No, I'm Annika Hansen of Earth, yeah. So, yeah. I'll let that one slide easily. I think it's why she still has the implant. Maybe it's, a personal reminder. And also a note to the rest of us, okay, hey, it's 7. See? So yeah, let's keep the pressure up, guys. Okay, we cannot let up. We got to let them know you got a big bridge to rebuild with us, folks. And again, JJ's deal with Paramount has lapsed. Therefore, they are no longer beholden to JJ for anything as far as making Star Trek movies. The right to make Star Trek movies has always been with Paramount. But it's got to be based on their own. And again, once the merger happens, that's out the window. They can draw from them. They can put Shatner back in the chair without a bunch of blink. And I think that is what everyone's kind of counting on this point. Because that merger's happening, I think, by sometime in this month. CBS and Viacom will be back under one house again. And at that point, all the rights issues are resolved immediately. And they can do a direct sequel to Undiscovered Country or Nemesis or whatever the hell they want. And no more having to kowtow to one side of the house or the other. Because CBS, frankly, have been kind of, questionable stewards of the property. They've done pretty good merchandising-wise, but that's about it. As far as actually producing content, no. I think it's also why we're finally starting to get some notion, or get some hints that, yes, we will finally get a Blu-ray release of the director's edition of the motion picture. They wouldn't be doing that if we weren't belly aching out here, and they weren't feeling need to suck up to us big time to get us, to win us back, because that has been a constant, demand all along. We want the director's edition on Blu-ray. You should have thought of that when you ordered the damn thing in the first place, to make it in high res, so you future-proof yourself. There's also one constant refrain through the decades about Paramount, is they have been the stingiest studio in Hollywood. They don't want to spend any more money than they absolutely have to. But hopefully, with a Blu-ray release, or even 4K, I think we're talking, of Star Trek motion picture, we will finally bring to a close the longest test screening in the history of Hollywood. Because the theatrical cut, that was not the final cut. And the director's edition, that was Robert Wise. And pretty much it was mentioned in Starlog at the time this thing is written, or whatever magazine. I think it's actually motion picture, the Star Trek magazine, whatever. That the big part of doing a director's edition of the motion picture for DVD was Robert Wise exercising his right to final cut. They're so locked into that release date. By the time they finally got it, he was literally carrying the thing under his arm to the premiere, wet, as in it just came out out of the editing thing, put together, and so. It was the first time he'd ever done a movie without a test screening. And again, part of his standard contract was he got final cut, and they never gave him his final cut. That was his chance to get a final cut. At least as close as you can get to it, because too many years have gone by to do reshoots. But that was it, and so finally we can, retire the theatrical cut, and the director's edition will be recognized as the definitive version of the motion picture. And hopefully also deal with this. I thought Vulcan had no moon. Well, it doesn't anymore. Get back to that red sky and those big statues. Because also notice, through the years, Robert Wise said very little about the motion picture until they're doing the director's. And then he's all over the damn place talking about that film, and now was making the answer. That was the biggest frustration of his career, is one, he never got final cut. So it was closing a chapter, and I got to do it before he died, because he died not long afterwards. But he finally got to finish up that last unfinished chapter in his career. Okay, so I think that pretty much does it. Things are starting to turn around. Yes, we've been beating the crap up. There's still holes in the hull, but we're patching them, hopefully. Also, apparently, something to go. The Section 31 show is dead. It ain't gonna happen. All right. So I think someone finally did the math. Well, if Giorgio is up in the 30-something century, then how can we do a Section 31 show based on it? Well, yeah. So. Well, that is one thing. Apparently, Section 31 is all over the Picard show, but hopefully not in the way that we had heard. That's another element. Hopefully, they're scrubbing out. So I imagine more will be learned at the Vegas Con, possibly. On personal front, things are proceeding, I guess. Steph's physical therapy is going on, trying to, get her back walking, and also hopefully getting some weight off so she make an easier time getting walking. But everyone seems to be, tolerating my presence out here fine, and the cat at the vet clinic. So as always, PayPal, Patreon, always appreciate it, because, my friend came through yesterday in the middle of a, live stream, but lure some money, which came in very useful because I was certainly a little low on gas here. So, and once again, no parking space, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit. All right. And again, if anybody wants to send me anything, because that seems to be the big thing these days, is having a post office box for people to send stuff to you. Just send it, Captain Robert Apel, 4046 North Goldenrod Road, number 115, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. And we'll do some unboxings and stuff. Anyone wants to send anything? Keep in mind, circumstances such that large items, while appreciated, will probably have to go straight in storage, but for a while. But something more practical would definitely be like a proper camera. Says, notice with all the glitches here, it's like this thing keeps overheating. And I'm just hold it down in front of the vent here, blow some cold air on it before I can finish up. So that sort of thing, or whatever you feel like giving. I don't care. I'm happy with it. I appreciate any of this at this point. So, and we will talk at you later.